Hey guys, welcome back to the TBR Diaries. This is episode 23, and we are working our way through the fourth shelf of the first bookcase. For those that are just joining, this is a little series where I have been going through and trying to organize and kind of get an idea of what books I have on my physical TBR that are just very patiently sitting there waiting for me to pick them and read them. I'm currently sitting around 225-ish books. So that's probably plus or minus, we'll say three or four. And there's more on the way. I'm pretty sure the Zon is going to deliver one today. And I know my best friend bought me some more. So those are on their way. Yeah, so it's ever growing. In fact, when I started this little series, I only had one full bookcase. I'm about halfway through the third bookcase now. And that's just books waiting to be read. So yeah. So anyway, let's jump right into this. The first book I want to talk about is Five Broken Blades. And this is by May Corland. I never know if I'm supposed to pronounce that May or Mai. I think it's May, but I'm not 100% sure because we all know my powers of pronunciation are garbage. So this sounds like a really cool book. It's also a very pretty book. It's got the sprayed edges. And I always like to take a minute to appreciate the pretty books. It's got the beautiful gold foiling. And then a beautiful picture there. And it says, "Let the best liar win." So this is a story. There are five from the synopsis. What my understanding is, there's five individuals that are in a position where they're in the best position to assassinate the king. They all have their own unique skill sets, but they have to come together and take out the king. So that's all I know about it. It sounds really good. It sounds intriguing. Sounds like something I'm going to like. So I really do want to get to this. I hope I get to it soon. But the next book I'm going to talk about, I think is going to have to be read before this one anyway. But yeah, and I know the second book in that series is out, and I don't have that one yet either. And I like to read the whole series before I start. I like to buy the whole series before I start, not read the whole series before I start. That didn't even make sense. So the second book I want to talk about is one that I have been seeing a lot, and that is Blood Over Brighthaven. And that's by M.L. Wang. This has been showing up all over my FYP lately, and it's rave reviews. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to get into this one. Don't know a whole lot about it, but I believe this is, let's see, is this the one where, yeah, so this one follows our FMC, who is the first woman to ever be admitted into this prestigious order of mages. And as any woman in a male-dominated career, or as the first woman in something, knows, you're not going to be treated the same. And excuse me. So this book is going to kind of delve into that some. So I'm here for that. I'm here for a little bit of feminine rage. But yeah, it sounds like instead of assigning her like the typical lab assistant that they would any other mage, they assign her a janitor as her lab assistant. But little do they know, right? He's got this background in some other things that is going to end up being, I assume, a big part of the story. It is a standalone, so that's good. I don't have to wait for any more books to come out. But I'm really excited to get to this one. I have heard really good things about it. And, again, reading is subjective. So I'm sure there are people that don't like it. Maybe I'll be one of them. Who knows? But you never know till you read it. Okay, the third book I want to talk about is This Spells Love, and that's by Kate Robb. And this one, I think I got this one I either got this one in a blind date with a book box or my Advent calendar book box that I did last Christmas. But this one, the story kind of sounds, it's a story we've all heard before, right? So our FMC gets dumped by her boyfriend, her longtime boyfriend, and her and her friends get drunk and cast a little spell, right? That's supposed to like wipe him from her memory. And she wakes up the next morning and her life is completely different. Like her best friend doesn't know who she is, right? It didn't just erase the ex-boyfriend from her life, it completely changed it. So this is a tale as old as time, right? Be careful what you wish for. Because it's not the most unique storyline, I'm sure it'll sprinkle its flavor in there. But because it's not the most unique storyline, I'm not in the biggest rush to read it. I'd rather focus on something else, to be honest with you. But I do want to get around to it because it does sound cute. So there's that. And then fittingly, the last book I would like to talk about is The Last One. And this is by Rachel Housel Hall. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I don't know if it's Housel or Housel. I'm saying it as Housel. But again, we all know my pronunciation. This sounds like a really good book. First off, it's a pretty book, so let's appreciate that. Look at the inside. It's got a beautiful moth, and then the cover. But this story follows our FMC who wakes up in the woods with no memory of who she is, how she got there, or anything like that. She meets the blacksmith of the town, and it goes from there. And that's really all I know about that one. I 100% bought that book because it was pretty, and it was on Barnes & Noble 50% off sale. But it sounds really good. It actually sounds intriguing and interesting. So I have mixed feelings about the whole memory loss kind of plot line. When it's done well, it's really good, right? Because you kind of bit by bit get to put the pieces of the puzzle together to right for all the memories to come back. But if it's not done well, then so hopefully this one's done well. But yeah, those are all the books that I wanted to talk about today, and we're slowly making our way through that fourth shelf. If you have read any of these, let me know what you thought about it in the comments.